Minutes from now. Well, the patent wars heating up right now. Apple stock is lower today after Samsung won a major victory. Take a look at Apple right now, down 381. The U.S. International Trade Commission ruling that Apple infringed on Samsung's patent, and it could result in Apple being prohibited from selling some iPhone 4s and iPad 2s in the United States. And this comes as President Obama vows to fix patent laws. So we debate this one. Should the government just butt out of patent fights? We've got Jim Awad, Managing Director at Zephyr Management, with us this morning. Afternoon. Elizabeth MacDonald as well. And Liz, I want to start with you. You know, the president, this is rare for an administration. Jay Carney comes out in the press briefing and says that they're going to get involved in this. But this is a very rare thing for them to get involved in this type of business. Should they be in the business of patent fights?
Well, you know, it's interesting the White House is doing this because this is a huge problem for the tech sector. I think the government should butt out. I think Samsung shouldn't have taken its belly aching to the ITC and gotten this ban. Even the White House has said that this is not the forum for these fights. In fact, they should instead duke it out in court. The ITC has historically, granted these bans on the sale of goods instead of, issuing financial penalties. So the question is, Samsung should not have taken it to the U.S. government. They should have basically taken it. This is a patent infringement fight. This is going to hurt iPhone 4 sales, not iPhone 4S. It's going to, hit a big chunk of Apple's revenue and AT&T's revenue. This is a fight between the two of them for the courts, not for the U.S. government.
Do you agree or disagree with that, Jeff?
Well, I think we do need to protect our corporations against unfair foreign competition. We have to elevate the growth rate in the economy. Other nations always make sure their corporations are fairly treated. So in this case, because it's a foreign corporation, it does affect, Apple's a very big company, important to the economy. So in this case, I don't think you can necessarily ignore it. I agree with what the Obama administration is trying to do, which is to move the standard towards financial penalty rather than banning products. So rather than, and this is why Samsung went this route, so they could get a ban. So I see
that's exactly why they shouldn't have been allowed to do it. It is so easy to win a ban at the ITC level of the importation of goods. That's been the problem with the International Trade Commission. They should not have taken this fight there. It should not have been allowed to have been taken by the ITC. They should instead try to duke it out in court. What Apple was saying was, Samsung is slapping us with an unreasonably high, blatantly unreasonably high royalty on the use of this technology. Right. And now it's not just, again, Apple that could be affected. It's AT&T that could be affected too.
So Jim, she's saying that that this is the wrong group that's in it. But then what if Congress gets involved? This becomes legislative action. I mean, executive order isn't going to really affect this. But what about legislative action?
Yeah, well, first of all,
is that even right?
In the short term, Samsung went this way so they could get the ban, and that's why the administration should do something in the short term to prevent it from being implemented.
But
Congress, as long as it's not protectionist.
Historically, presidents do not overturn ITC rulings.
If I could just get in with another view of this, because I've watched Apple and Samsung a long time, this patent dispute. What's really the problem here is that both companies let this get into government and the courts. Once you give it up, Apple won a big case in California. Samsung won a big case in Asia. Now Samsung won at the U.S. You guys ought to sit down, talk to each other, cross-license your patents, stop firing missiles, stop leaving it to government and courts, and get together yourselves, because you're hurting each other now. Now you're in real danger of damaging both companies.
If somebody senior from the administration got the two CEOs in a room and banged heads, I think you could get something done. So I think the administration and the U.S. Congress or the U.S. government has to insert itself into this to make sure that our companies face
too much government is the problem, man. Too much government.
I'll tell you something. The last time a president overturned the International Trade Commission was Reagan, and only a handful have done that since 1913. This could all be put to rest if Apple comes out with another iPhone that blows away the iPhone 4.
But is Obama going to overturn when we're beating up on Apple for not paying enough taxes, Cheryl?
That's the question, right?
Will it become political?
But look at all the people, the Apple customers and employees. They're a constituency too. And if you're a congressman and your district is going to suffer if Apple products can't be sold, I think that's going to outweigh taxes.
What about, okay, Dennis, since you're in this, what about the R&D argument here? What about the R&D argument that universities are coming in, they can't protect themselves, and then Apple is spending more money on legislation than they're spending on making a new product, which
Here's
that company
the problem.
needs.
The patent system was originally conceived to help technology advance. I would love for Apple to license Samsung's ability to zap a file over just by touching phones, and I'd have it in my iPhone right now. But instead, I have to wait. Over the last 20 years, the patent system changed changed from advancing innovation to ring fencing and protecting innovation so that others can't have it. It's been a bastardization and an abuse of the patent process, and that's one underlying principle that we aren't addressing.
This ITC move totally undercuts what the White House is trying to do in stopping the use of the International Trade Commission to do bans of sales of goods in the United States. This is a patent fight that it belongs in the courts. It does not belong at the ITC.
It belongs in the boardroom. It doesn't belong in the courts.
Okay.
When you get into court, you've already failed as a company.
Okay, Jim?
But I would simply say I agree with Liz that they shouldn't be at the ITC, but since they went that route, and this could be this kind of damages against Apple, that we do need to intervene in some way or fashion.
Okay, well, Jim Awad, Liz MacDonald, Dennis Neal, thank you to everybody.
Yes.
Are you okay over there?
And Cheryl and I will be going after a congressman on this other issue regarding the Susan Rice